Hi, I'm Shannon Gavin Johnson, the director of Legacy Museum on Main, and this is a brief moment in LaGrange's history. We usually use documents and oral stories to tell our local history, but some of what is known about our home is learned from archaeology, or what comes from beneath the surface. Items such as spearheads and grinding bowls tell us about the American Indians that were in this area. This evidence reveals to us that Indians have roamed these lands for over 12,000 years. The state of Georgia was inhabited by two distinct groups. One was the Cherokee Nation, who lived in North Georgia among the mountains. The other group was a federation of several tribes who retained their own tribal names, some of which are very recognizable today, such as Coosa and Coweta. The tribes collectively called themselves Muskogee, but in English they were called Creeks. This confederation migrated from the west between 1500 and 1600, and according to Creek tradition, they conquered their predecessors and seized their lands. To begin, relations between the colonists and the Creeks were cordial, with the first treaty inviting settlers to make use and possess all lands which the nation was not using was signed in 1733. However, as the number of settlers grew and the natives' desire for trade increased, land cessions became more frequent and frustrating to members of the Creek Nation. By the late 1700s, some 30 years before white settlers arrived here in West Georgia, the tensions grew as small raids began happening between whites and natives. In September of 1793, an incident took place in what is now Troup County at the village called Oak Fuscanina, located where Wahadkee Creek ran into the Chattahoochee River. A company of Georgia militia followed the trail of suspected horse thieves, attacking and burning the village, killing 6 men and taking several women and children hostage. Some historians speculate that the raid was intended to provoke trouble with the Indians, which would force the fledgling United States government to intercede. West Point Lake now covers the land where Burnt Village once stood, so all we have left comes from an archaeological excavation conducted from 1966 to 1969. They discovered thousands of artifacts and found that the village had contained a number of curved wooden houses that may have been used for meetings. About as close as you can get to the area now is on Lower Glass Bridge at the Earl Cook Recreation Area. To learn more about Native Americans in LaGrange, you can visit Legacy Museum on Main. This has been a brief moment in LaGrange's history.